twilight, these sisters discuss the paranormal and the unnerving. They are known as the ParaSisters.
Hey guys, this is Tristan.
And it's Rebecca.
And you are watching and listening to the ParaSisters.
That's right.
Because, yeah, we're badass.
Tag
You should always
back again. Dude, I love Space Jam. It's so fun. It's so funny. As soon as we start recording, like random things pop in my head.
It's okay.
And then I say them out loud because that's what I do. I make quite a few people uncomfortable with that habit.
It's okay. I've been saying like random shit for like the last month. It's weird. Like I'm having a stroke.
I mean, like you kind of don't have control over it. That's just my personality, so I'm not sure. It's almost like I have no control over the things that come out of my mouth. But I do because, you know, it's mostly I don't care, so.
Right.
Anywho.
Right. Anywho. All right. Well, if you guys like us, please share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Give us a thumbs up. And you guys can always catch us anywhere you can get podcasts, pretty much. We're still not sure about Apple, but whatever.
I think we're on Apple. I think we are. I mean, I don't have Apple, so I can't like test the theory, but I have searched for us on Apple, and it comes up with us. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then that works. Check out our new website. Everything's in. All the links are in the comments below, so you guys come on.
They're always.
You have no excuse. We make it easy for you.
And I don't want to hear your excuses either. Don't give them to me. I've actually switched the format of our description. So before I put like the description of the video, and then all of our links, but I switched it to all of our links now are at the top, and then the description's at the bottom. Because I'm like, I don't know if people read the description or not, but.
I noticed that actually when I was looking at Port Arthur.
Yes.
Because when I change the website, I get part of the description from you.
Oh,
so
right.
Whatever you use to describe the video is what I use to describe on our website the video of the week.
That makes sense.
So, yeah.
That makes sense. Dude, I'd read that through if I were you sometimes. Because
oh, don't worry, I will.
Sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel that. I can't. So I do like the bare minimum.
Well, that's exactly what happened with Port Arthur. I went to go update the website, and it was like just like a 2-sentence thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, shit, now I have to write something.
Like, I gotta make up my own stuff. What the hell? Dude, what is going on with my hair?
I have to use words.
My hair's just laying funny. Anyway, sorry.
I'm like, I have to actually use words now that I made up myself. Don't like this.
Did you get out the source?
You guys should check it out. I actually wrote a very good description this week.
I'm gonna go check
for our Port Arthur videos.
And
it's really good.
And you check it out too.
Yes, and you guys can link to all of our videos. Actually, I'm sorry, they're not videos; they're the podcasts on the episodes page, and you can all of our links are on our main website page, so you guys can connect to YouTube, or actually you can go straight to Anchor because that has our RSS feed address on there.
Right.
So you guys can get everything.
Yes, because if you feel like watching us on YouTube, which I would appreciate, mainly because we're trying to get 4,000 hours. Viewing hours.
Yes.
Which we're not even close, but that's okay. I checked the other day, it's like 380 something.
Someday.
I'm like, no.
But still, you know what I mean? You gotta figure we got what, 30 we'll have 33 videos on there, or 34 videos.
Yeah.
So it's an average of 10 hours per video. So that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We need more.
So, I mean, we're getting there. Yeah, we have a few videos that have over 1,000 views on it. So we're getting there. We're still new. One of these days we'll have fantastic equipment so it doesn't sound tinny or like we're underwater or whatever. Like we have colds all the time. But we'll
Yeah.
get there.
You're like
So,
someday.
but I'm actually I'm actually kind of excited about this. It is kind of popular, and I try to stay away from the more popular things going on. Um, but I don't know. For some reason, something just told me you have to do this one, even though it's popular right now. It's the Hotel Cecil, aka Hotel Death, in downtown Los Angeles, California.
So I'm excited to see what you have because I when you told me the title, I already knew what it was because, like you said, it's so popular. So I
Right.
I know a specific story from the hotel, which I don't know if you'll talk about it, so I'm not going to mention it yet. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know like a lot about it, so I'm interested to see what you have.
It's kind of this one is more, I think, in depth. I actually had to do a lot of research on this because they have what's most popular right now. Ghost Adventures has been here, so they're all over the place when you Google this.
Yes.
Um, so I had to kind of go off the beaten path.
Right.
I did use, I did go to Reddit, and there are some great stories in Reddit. I did not use the entire story because it's extremely long and comes in two parts. So I just kind of paraphrased
Listen, why the
that
fuck?
lady's story.
Why the fuck do people write novels on Reddit?
I don't know. Well,
Like,
evidently,
they're
like
novels.
she, she had like started, like she had wrote the first part of it, and it people actually asked to hear more, so she wrote more.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. So when we get to that part of it, we'll go more into it because she actually stayed at the hotel. She actually had problems with her water. She had something very frightening happen to her. Actually, a few frightening things happened to her. Um, one of them is documentable because it actually did happen, and there was like a police report and everything like that. So yeah, it's crazy. So we're gonna start with the Cecil Hotel. The Actually, it's called Hotel Cecil, just so everybody's aware. But the Cecil Hotel is a budget hotel in downtown Los Angeles, located at 640 South Main Street. Um, the Cecil opened on December 20th, 1924. There is some debate on whether or not this date is right, and I actually had to look multiple places, and it is right. This is the correct date. Is December 20th, 1924. Um, the hotel is 19 floors and it has 700 guest rooms.
That's
So it's a very
huge.
big hotel.
It's
Mhm.
huge.
This hotel has a checkered history with many suicides and deaths occurring here. Not only that, but it has a lot of strange happenings, period.
Yeah.
The Cecil was built in 1925 by three hoteliers.
Hoteliers.
um, Hoteliers, yes. Um, William Banks Hanner, Charles L. Dix, and Robert H. Schatz. Um, this was originally built as a destination for business travelers and tourists.
Right, okay.
Um, it was designed by Loy. His name is Loy Lester Smith, in the Beaux Art style. And for everybody who doesn't know what that is, because I had no effing clue what the hell that was,
I don't know.
it is French architecture. Um, it was the academic architectural style taught at the École des Beaux Arts in Paris. So it's like this architectural school. Um, Particularly from the 1830s to the end of the 19th century. It drew upon the principles of French neoclassicism, but also incorporated Gothic and Renaissance elements and used modern materials such as iron and glass. It was an important style in France until the end of the 19th century. It also had a strong influence on architecture in the United States because of many of the prominent American architects who studied at the École des Beaux-Arts school.
Where's that at again?
In Paris.
Oh, it's in France. Okay. Okay. Not that it's
Yeah, it
important
is in
at
France.
all.
And it goes on to list a whole bunch of architects who actually studied here. I've never heard of any of them, so
Dude,
we're going to skip over that.
They pretend like architects are like these super famous people, and I'm like, if it's not Frank Lloyd Wright or maybe one or two other ones, I have no fucking idea who that is. Like,
right, me neither. Sorry, I have to fix my headphones. They're like sitting on my ears weirdly, so they're like giving me a pain right here in my neck.
just squeezing.
So this place was constructed by W.W. Patton. The hotel cost $1.5 million to complete and boasted an opulent marble lobby with stained glass windows, potted palms, and alabaster statuary. The three hoteliers invested about $2.5 million in the enterprise, with the knowledge that several similar hotels had been established elsewhere on this downtown strip.
Right.
Unfortunately, within 5 years of this hotel opening, the United States sank into the Great Depression, of course.
Right.
Although the hotel flourished as a fashionable destination throughout the 40s, the decades beyond saw the hotel decline as the nearby area known as Skid Row, which I'm sure there's a lot of places in the country, in the world, to have a Skid Row. It became increasingly populated with transients, and there are as many as 10,000 homeless people living within 4-mile radius of this hotel.
How many?
10,000.
Sorry, my mouse went all rogue. Like right now, today?
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
But it started growing in the 40s because we had the Great Depression coming, you know what I mean?
That's insane.
Which the Great Depression happened in the 20s and the 30s. But because of the Great Depression, the homeless population started to grow.
Right.
And so it kind of just remained Skid Row from that time on. In addition to suicides, the Cecil's history includes other violence and disturbing happenings. It also became a notorious rendezvous spot for adulterous couples, drug activity.
Sorry, that's not funny.
And common ground for sex workers. So the sex workers would bring their Johns there.
How would you like this to be your reputation?
Right.
I know. We have sex workers, adulterers, druggies.
Murder and suicides.
Nice. I mean, I want to definitely go and stay here.
It's not even open right now.
Yeah, this is one place I'd probably pass on, to be honest with you.
I honestly think that I would too.
Yeah.
It has a very sordid past, which we'll get into. Not only does it have murder and suicide and drug addicts and bad happenings, two different serial killers stayed here.
Oh, that's true. What's his name? The Night Stalker.
Richard Ramirez.
Which,
yes.
If you have not watched that documentary on Netflix,
fantastic,
dude, go and watch it. I was like hooked, man. I was like, and then I was like crying at the end when the whole like community like gathered. I was like, oh my god, it was pretty awesome.
So, Sassy and I started watching this and watching that documentary, and He fell asleep, and I watched the whole thing in one night.
Yeah, it's really easy because it's that good. Seriously.
It is that good. It is fantastic. I actually loved it. Mm. Um, in 2015, while researching the Cecil Hotel for an article for KCET, researcher Hadley Mears claimed that in 1947, Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia, everybody knows who the Black Dahlia is, was rumored to have been seen drinking at Cecil's bar in the days before her notorious and unsolved murder. However, this is completely untrue. Uh, it seems to be nothing more than a retelling of a long forgotten falsehood
Oh, right.
that first appeared in a 1995 column written by Los Angeles Times scribe Steve Harvey, which is not the same Steve Harvey of comedic fame.
Family Feud.
Yeah. Without fact checking the claim, Harvey had quoted Ken Schlesser, author of the book This Is Hollywood, as saying on January 11th, 1947, just 3 days before she was murdered, the Black Dahlia was seen in the bar in the Cecil Hotel with a girlfriend and two sailors.
A sailor would never kill someone.
Schlesser then added, in fact, the hotel and the bars in the same block, including the dugout next door, were some of Elizabeth Short's favorite hangouts during the week before she was killed. Schlesser's Black Dahlia claim is easily disproved. According to LAPD records of her murder, Short was last seen alive at the Millennium Biltmore Hotel on January 9th and was not seen again until her body was found on January 11th. On January 15th, I'm sorry. So she was last seen then, and she was not seen again until January 15th when her body was discovered. There are no known actual records of Elizabeth Short ever being at the Cecil Hotel. Ever.
So it's funny because I've read a lot about Elizabeth Short. Because of course I'm obsessed with gruesome murders for some reason.
Murder is crazy. It interests me. I understand.
Well, it's what's always weird to me about it is there's almost no evidence at all. They have pretty much nothing ever to go on. That's why it's unsolved. And I think it's funny that a reporter is so desperate that they're making shit up about it.
Right. I don't know. It's ridiculous. So I wanted to get into some of the happenings at this place. Okay, so some of them are murder, some of them are suicide. Some of them are just weird.
I like the weird ones.
Right. So, sorry, I have to go to my little chart here because there's so many of them.
Dude, I'm gonna pause really quick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So, I'm gonna get into like some of the happenings here. I gotta get to my little chart because there's so many of them that I had to chart them.
You made a chart. There's like graphs, pies.
Literally.
Holy moly! What the hell have you been doing?
I'm a thorough researcher, okay? I like to make charts, and I like to make graphs, and I like to make timelines.
I'm also a thorough researcher, but mine looks like a hurricane came in. It's like...
That's okay, because I'm going to go through these, and then I have to actually go back a couple pages, because we're going to talk about something, like, I had put it in the wrong spot, so mine looks like a hurricane, too. So, on January 22nd, 1927...
2 years after it's open.
This is going to be the first incident on record at Cecil Hotel. Percy Ormond Cook, 52, suicide. On the evening, Cook shot himself in the head while inside his hotel room after failing to reconcile with his wife and child, who was grown. His child was a grown person. He was in
Oh,
school at the time.
okay.
Although the Times reported that he was rushed to the receiving hospital with slim chance of survival, death records show that he died later on that same evening. So that was the first incident. November 19th, 1931, W.K. Norton, 46, suicide, ingested poison.
Poison.
Yes. Manhattan Beach resident W.K. Norton was found dead in his room after ingesting poison capsules. A week prior, he had checked into the hotel under the name James Willies from Chicago. The capsules the man ingested were found, like the same capsules were found in his shirt pocket. So that's how they know
Oh,
that he ingested the poison.
right. That's messed.
Um, yeah. So he also died in his room. On September 1932, these ones don't have exact dates. September 1932, Benjamin Doddich, 25, suicide, gunshot to the head. A maid found Doddich dead from self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. He did not leave a suicide note, so they have no idea why he killed himself.
What the
Um,
hell?
July 1934, Sergeant Lewis D. Borden, 53. This one, this one is kind of weird because it is extremely hard to slit your own throat, just so everybody's aware of that.
Yeah, that's true. It's almost
Um,
impossible.
right, but it's ruled suicide, uh, with a slit throat.
Okay.
Right. In late July, former Army Medical Corps Sergeant Borden was found dead in his room at the Cecil. He had slashed his throat with a razor. Borden left several notes, one of which cited poor health as his reason for suicide. Yeah. You know how hard it is? And with a razor, I don't know. I don't know.
It sounds sketchy to me, but I'm not a
Right.
I'm not a coroner or whatever they're called.
Plus, this was 1934, which they were like, they did have really good forensic techniques back then. And I think that sometimes people were just lazy.
Yeah, people are still lazy. I don't know. Like,
Right.
I've heard of like recent things where they were just too lazy to do the work. Like,
Right. So then we go to March 1937, Grace E. Margot, death. It just says death. She fell from the building.
oh,
Yeah, it doesn't say why. A lot of these I got from newspaper articles, just so our listeners and our watchers are aware. Margot fell from a ninth-story window. Her fall was broken by telephone wires, which were wrapped around her body. She later died at the now demolished Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. Police were unable to determine whether Margot's death was a result of an accident, murder, or suicide.
what?
Right.
I mean,
So, yeah, like these things are crazy. They're crazy. On January 1938, Roy Thompson, 35, death, fell from the United States Marine Corps fireman Thompson jumped from the Cecil's top floor and was found on the skylight of a neighboring building.
oh, jeez.
He had been staying at the Cecil for several weeks. And then just one day he just decides he can kill himself by jumping from the building.
Yeah,
It's weird. It is weird.
that's super strange.
And so now we have 2 military people so far. We're going to go to the next one, which is also a military person. May 1939, Erwin C. Neblett, 39, death, ingested poison. This is all it said about him. Navy officer Neblett was found dead in his room after ingesting poison. That's it.
It's not even like, oh, he was sad. He didn't have any family.
Right.
He got dishonorably discharged. Nothing.
Right.
Oh,
So, This one is extremely sad. This one is so sad. This is the first actual murder at Cecil Hotel. This happened in September of 1944. Dorothy Jean Purcell, 19, Purcell's unnamed newborn baby, was her baby was killed by murder.
What?
Yeah. She actually threw her newborn baby out of a window.
Oh, fuck.
Yes. Purcell was sharing a room at the Cecil with her boyfriend, shoe salesman Ben Levine, 38. She was 19.
Oh.
Purcell, who had apparently been unaware that she was pregnant, went into labor. She later testified that she did not want to disrupt her sleeping boyfriend, so she went to the bathroom where she gave birth to a baby boy. Thinking the baby was dead, she threw him out of the window, and he landed on the roof of an adjacent building. Purcell was charged with murder. 3 psychiatrists testified that she was mentally confused at the time of the incident.
Or she's just a psycho.
Right. In January 1945, she was found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Oh, God.
Yes. I'm telling you, these are so weird.
Dude, that horrifies me. Like,
isn't that awful?
It's horrific.
So, November 1947. And, okay, so just so everybody's aware, these are the documented deaths here.
Right.
Ones that they could find a cause or a reason or something that was related to this death. And that was documented. November 1947, Robert Smith, 35, death, fell from the building. It says that he jumped, but they can't conclusively decide if he jumped or if he was pushed or if he fell.
Right.
He died from falling from the 7th floor window.
Oh my gosh.
October 22nd, 1954, Helen Gurney, 55, death, fell from the building.
It's not funny how many people have fallen from this building.
It's ridiculous how many people have fallen.
That's why I'm laughing. It's because it's so ridiculous. It's not because I think it's funny that all these people are dying, but I mean, right. You would think that people. I mean, I guess that would be a case for suicide because I'm like, wouldn't you be more careful if it's that dangerous?
Right, and here's one thing too. I don't know. All of these people that have fallen from the building, right, have stayed here for a week or more. Think about that.
So it's not it's not like they went there to kill themselves.
Right. So she was a San Francisco stationery firm employee. It says that she jumped from the window of her 7th floor room and landed on top of Cecil's marquee. 1 week prior, she had registered at the hotel under the name Margaret Brown.
On top of the marquee?
Yeah.
That's rough.
February 11th, 1962, Julia Frances Moore, 50, death, fell from the building.
Is somebody pushing these people out of the building?
That's what makes me think it is.
It is, yeah.
Because we'll go into the paranormal toward the end of it. Moore jumped from the window of her 8th floor room and landed in a 2nd-story interior light well. So I'm not exactly sure what that is, but
I'm trying to think. Interesting.
I don't know. Yeah. And this one's kind of a little weird too, because among her possessions, she did not leave a suicide note. And among her possessions was a bus ticket from St. Louis, 59 cents in change, and an Illinois bank account showing a balance of $1,800.
Oh, so she had money. She wasn't poor.
Right.
I'm like, $1,800 in the 60s was a substantial amount of money.
Right. It's probably like around $5,000 now.
That's what I would guess too.
Between $3,000 and $5,000, yeah. And so I don't know where the date went, but this was also in 1962. Um, Pauline Odin and George Gianni. She was 27, he was 65.
Well,
Suicide fell from the building.
both of them?
Now, no. Listen to this.
Oh, I
This
was
is
like,
crazy.
what?
Pauline Auden jumped from the window of her ninth floor room after an argument with her estranged husband, Dewey. He left the room prior to Auden's suicide. Auden landed on a pedestrian, Gianni,
Oh, shit.
killing them both instantly. As there were no witnesses, police initially thought Auden and Gianni committed suicide together. However, it was soon determined that Gianni had his hands in his pocket at the time of his death, and he was still wearing his shoes. Had he jumped, his shoes would have likely fallen off during the fall or upon impact, and his hands would not have been in his pockets. So she actually fell on a pedestrian. She jumped out the window and killed somebody else in the process.
That's fucked up, man.
It is.
That's some bad luck. I can't. I'm like now obsessed with that.
I know, it's sad, huh?
That's terrible. I'm sadder for the guy than I am for the idiot that jumped out the window.
I know. Because, I mean, he's just walking down the damn street minding his own damn business.
Well, right. He's just a totally innocent guy. Oh, person falls on you.
So, Pigeon Goldie Osgood was murdered. Stabbed, beaten, and raped. A hotel worker discovered Osgood, a retired phone operator, dead in her room. She had been raped, stabbed, and beaten, and her room had been ransacked. Osgood was well known around the area and had earned her nickname because she fed the birds in nearby Pershing Park. Near her body was a Los Angeles Dodgers cap she always wore and a paper sack full of birdseed. Hours after her murder, Jack Eilinger was seen walking through Pershing Square in bloodstained clothing. He was arrested and charged with Osgood's murder, but was later cleared of the crime. The murder remains unsolved.
Why did he have blood all over his clothes?
I don't know, but around this same time within the week of Goldie's death, another lady in another park, I think it was just a couple miles away, had also been killed.
Oh. But she was in the room, though. She wasn't at the park.
No, I believe the other lady had been killed at her own place, too.
Oh.
But it was just, she would feed the birds at her park. Yeah, it was weird. In 1975, Allison Lowell, and they put quotations because this is the name that she had checked in on. The death fell from the building is still unidentified woman, jumped from her 20th floor window onto the Cecil second floor roof. She had registered at the hotel on December 16th, and she died on the 20th of December under the name Allison Lowell and was staying in room 327. Then we have September 1st, 1992. Death fell from the building.
Oh my gosh.
An unidentified body of an African-American man was found in the alley behind the Cecil. People said he had earlier fallen, jumped, or been pushed from the hotel's 15th floor. The 20 to 30-year-old male has never been identified.
How?
I don't know. Maybe he was a transient.
What about DNA, though?
Yeah, but unless your DNA's in the system, they will never know.
Yeah, but a relative, don't you think?
Yeah, but a lot of times transients don't have relatives. That's one of the reasons why they're transient.
Dude, that's like the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Right.
Except for the baby, that was the saddest. But still.
So now we're on to the most famous one. February 19th, 2013, Elisa Lam, 21, death unknown. The naked body of Lamb, a Canadian student, was found inside one of the water supply tanks on the hotel roof. She had gone missing almost 3 weeks earlier on January 31st, 2013. So this is February 19th, 2014. I mistyped it. Her decomposing body was discovered by maintenance worker in one of the rooftop water tanks after guests had complained about low water pressure and the water had tasted bad. Well, that's what I'm saying. Video surveillance footage taken from inside an elevator shortly before her disappearance shows her acting strangely, pressing multiple elevator buttons, hiding in the corner of the elevator, and waving her arms wildly, causing widespread speculation about the cause of her death. After the elevator video was released, many theories about Lamb's death arose. She was reported to have bipolar disorder, for which she had been prescribed various medications which could have contributed to her death, as well as her strange behavior in the elevator. Authorities later ruled Lamb's death as an accidental drowning. But I don't know if anybody's ever seen the video of this.
Yes.
I don't think that looks like a bipolar incident at all.
So, I don't know if you remember, because it was a while ago, but on our Halloween special, I briefly talked about this because it is so strange. And even still, like, if you go and watch the video, it is so strange. Like, the way she is acting is some of the oddest behavior I've ever seen.
Yes.
Especially if, like, there's not another person involved or, you know, like, it's very, very, very weird. Very weird.
I know. It is weird. So the last death that happened at this hotel known is June 13, 2015. And does not have a name because this person is still unidentified.
Oh, shit.
They were believed to be 28 years old. Their death suspected to have fallen from the building. So many people have fallen from this damn building. It's ridiculous.
So freaking many.
The body of a 28-year-old man was found outside the hotel. Some conjectured he may have committed suicide by jumping from the hotel, although a spokesman from the county coroner informed the Los Angeles Times that the cause of death had not been determined. Yeah, it's so weird. This place is so fracking weird.
Dude. It's I don't even know.
So, so the most infamously, besides Elisa Lam thing that happened here, is in the 1980s, the hotel was, it says may have been, but there's a lot of eyewitnesses that place Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, here.
Yeah.
Ramirez was a regular presence and on the Skid Row area of Los Angeles during this time, according to the hotel clerk, who claims to have spoken to him. Ramirez is rumored to have stayed at the Cecil for a few weeks. Ramirez may have engaged in part of his killing spree while staying there. It is said that the Night Stalker paid $14 a night and would often walk in blood-stained underwear and bare feet, walk up to his room, walk up the floor in his blood-stained underwear only and bare feet, and go into his room.
Listen, I understand there's shady-ass people staying here. Why are employees not wondering what the fuck is going on? Like,
I think, okay, so I read through some interviews with some employees from that time, and one of the employees said that this was just a madhouse at that time. Because we know that the 80s were wild to begin with.
oh yeah.
And so, and this place was kind of like the mecca for that.
Right.
Like, if you were wild and you were on drugs and you were looking for the party scene and everything like that, you went to the
Go to
Cecil.
Cecil. It's the place
Yes.
to be for a crazy lunatic.
Yes. And as we had talked about, on August 30th, 1985, a group of Los Angeles residents spotted him in the street and prevented him from escaping.
Yes.
In 1989, Ramirez was convicted of 13 murders and sentenced to death by the gas chamber. Though he would ultimately succumb to cancer in 2013, he was still awaiting his death sentence on death row. There was another serial killer. His name was Austin Jack Unterweger, or Unterweger. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He is from Austria, where in Austria he was arrested for like beating sex workers.
Oh shit.
And he had actually served time in Austria for murdering a young German woman. After his release, he came to America to write an article about the red light district.
Oh yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy to be writing articles about red light.
Which turned into a killing spree of female sex workers at the Cecil, where he strangled and killed at least 3 sex workers. Some say that he actually went there and stayed at the Cecil specifically to mimic the Night Stalker. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
That's nuts. I feel like I've heard something about that guy, but
Yeah, he was caught and he was sentenced to prison. It doesn't have a whole lot of information about him because really he compares nothing to Richard Ramirez. So
yeah, if nobody knows what Richard Ramirez did, so he would literally go all over the city, the suburbs of Los Angeles,
at
night, find windows or doors that were left open, go into people's houses and literally randomly kill like his MO was so weird, right? Cuz he would leave some people alive. He would kill some people, he would shoot some people, he would strangle some people, he would like beat some people. Like he literally had no pattern of like killing. He would just go into a house and wing it, I think. Like he didn't know what he was going to do. He was crazy, obviously.
Yes, and it's crazy because like he had no specific type of person either. He would kill children, he would kill males, he would kill females.
Right.
White, black, Asian, Hispanic,
old,
Hispanic. He did not care.
It does, right.
Old, young, it didn't matter. Like,
right. He actually even kidnapped a young girl and held her hostage, and then he released her. He didn't kill her. He of
took
course
her right back to her house, which is weird.
He of course did terrible things to her, but still, it's just like he's insane. If anybody's insane, it's obviously.
Well, we'll get into that. In 2007, the Cecil was bought by a different person. They actually rebranded it and they called it Stay at Main. Or Stay on Main, I'm sorry. It was called the Stay on Main Hotel. They tried to make it seem like it was a better place to stay.
Yeah.
It became after it became rebranded as the Stay on Main, it became a half long-time stay for low-income, low-credit tenants and half hostel and half budget lodging for tourists. I have seen pictures of this, and there is hostel-like rooms there where you share one room and it has a bunch of bunks in it, and then you have a community bathroom and a community kitchen.
Right. So I will say, Lisa Lamb, when she first started staying at the hotel, she was staying in a room, like a common room, like a hostel situation.
Yes.
And then she was actually later moved because she was super disruptive to her roommates. But yeah, so that's the situation, and it's funny because I don't know if you've seen the documentary on Netflix about Elisa Lam. But,
I've only watched part of it.
Yeah, so it kind of really describes how kooky this stay on Main idea is. Because it's a huge hotel, right? 700 rooms. And they literally took a block of rooms in the middle of the hotel and turned it into like this fancy, swanky, like upscale tourist place. But the rest of the hotel is still shit. And you're still right. You're still having to go on the elevators with fucking crackheads and hookers to get to your your bougie rooms. It's really strange.
And what's crazy is because they rebranded it the Stay on Main. Actually, the Cecil Hotel has a side entrance,
right,
for the Cecil, and then the Stay on Main is now the main entrance. And many tourists did not know they were staying at the Cecil Hotel, even though it's all still the Cecil.
Isn't that crazy? That's not...
Yes.
Yes, because I've seen, their website. It's, totally, it's, you literally don't know you're staying at the same place as all this crazy shit happened. You have no idea.
Right. So, the bottom 2 floors of the Cecil were for long-term residents. The Stay on Main Youth Hostel was on floors 4 through 6, and floors 7 and above were Cecil hotel rooms.
So those are the cheap budget rooms, obviously.
Yes. There was even a separate entrance and lobby for hotel guests. That's what we just talked about. And long-term residents. So the long-term residents would go in the Cecil side, and then the hotel guests would go and stay on Main side.
Isn't that weird how they made 2 lobbies? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's so weird. I think it's stupid.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
According to Kenneth Gibbons, a former long-term resident of the Cecil, anything higher than the 6th floor was dangerous, he said. He is stated as saying that it pretty much was lawless back in the 80s. Usually the higher floors at the Cecil was where people used to get killed.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
So you'd want to stay on the 1st floor if you're going to Cecil.
Well, the 1st and the 2nd floor was for long-term residents.
Okay, so you want to stay on the 3rd floor or the 4th floor because you're right in the middle.
Right, and I can't find anywhere where it says what's on the 3rd floor, because the 4th and the 6th floors are for the hostel and the
So what about the 5th
Stay at
floor?
Moan Hotel. I don't know.
What's going on at this place, man?
I don't know. Okay, so the GM that ran the Cecil there, she worked there for 10 years. She's in the documentary on Netflix. In an interview with, because I haven't watched the whole documentary, so I don't know if she says this in the documentary, but in this newspaper interview or article interview, she says that there were between 1 and 3 911 calls made a day.
Holy shit.
And in her 10 years working there were thousands of total 911 calls made.
That's crazy.
She also says that in her 10 years working there was at least 80 deaths in the hotel.
Holy.
Yeah.
That's so
yeah. So some people believe that even though some murders and suicides took place in the Cecil before Richard Ramirez stayed there, they believe that he is the one that actually brought real evil there.
Oh, right.
And then,
right.
And then the other serial killer too, that Austin, whatever his name was, Jack Ross, I don't know, the wannabe. He was known to perform satanic rituals in the hotel while he stayed there. Who knows what he brought into the hotel?
That freaks me out.
And what kind of doors he opened or allowed to remain open, because there's also a couple other theories in the paranormal community. What kind of doors he opened by doing those rituals. It is also believed that some of these doors were already there, and the evil brought there by the 2 serial killers who stayed there, and the rituals they performed. And the dark energy of the Skid Row only amplifies what was already there. So some people think that it was already evil, and by having so much dark energy around it because of Skid Row, I mean,
right.
you have to think that destitute homeless people literally murdering and scheming and conniving to just live every day. And then you got 2 serial killers who are doing satanic rituals here.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. Okay, so like people say, I'm not an expert in mental health. I am not a psychologist. I am not a doctor of any kind.
I just play one on
But
TV. No, I'm just kidding.
I just play one on TV, yes. Um, a lot of people in the paranormal community wrote articles and talked about how Elisa Lamb was acting the day that she was disappeared. And if you watch the video very closely and you look at how she was acting, she seemed like somebody was scared. Like
Yeah.
her hands, if you look at her hands in the one video, the way that she is holding her hands are so creepy. That creeps
Yeah.
me out almost more than anything else. Because to me, it's an unnatural way to hold your hands.
Dude.
And then she's like hiding in the corner of the elevator. She's peeking around. It looks like she's talking to somebody in the hallway, which bipolar disorder, I don't know, but I know for sure schizophrenia you would say somebody else or talk to somebody else.
Dude, there are also like the internet sleuths that claim that if you watch the video really, really closely, when she leaves the elevator and goes out of frame, they are saying that there is like a shoe or a foot that you can see like in the very corner of the frame, like where the wall.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's like she was wearing like flip-flops or something like that, and this looks like a white, like a tennis shoe or something. Like it's very strange.
Well, too, and like think about this, like why did the elevator doors stay open for so damn long? Elevator doors are going to shut.
Yeah.
They don't have a sensor if somebody walks past it, only if you touch the doors.
Right.
You know, if you like stop them from closing. Not one time in that video did she stop the doors from closing.
Dude, it's so
And if you
weird.
hold the elevator door button to keep the doors open, you actually have to hold that button for the doors to stay open. As soon as you let it go, the doors are going to close.
Dude, the whole situation's so weird. Like, I think that what like the video evidence and then what the police say happened, and then like the confusion on whether the water tank was open or closed when they found her, like the whole thing is so strange.
Right,
like,
at first it was closed and then it was open and it was closed and then it was open again.
They made a mistake. It was actually open the whole time. I'm just like, really? Like,
just
seriously?
because you're trying to explain that kind of shit irritates me because it's unexplainable and now they're trying to explain it. So and I don't think it was open at all.
It's like they don't want to explain that if it's closed, there's no way she could have closed it herself, obviously, because if she could have closed it, she could have gotten out.
Right.
Obviously. I don't know. The whole thing is fucking weird, man.
It is weird. So I'm going to go into a story that I saw on Reddit about staying at the Cecil.
I'm excited about this.
Yes. So this is actually a separate story. This is one that I found after I found the big one.
Yes.
So this girl states, she said that we took a taxi from the airport and the driver said that he was shocked to find out that we were having him take us to... Now, this is somebody else's actual writing, so it's kind of disjointed. It's not how I would write.
Right.
Where taking us to the Cecil and warned us that it wasn't a very safe area at all. Fast forward a few hours and we're having drinks in our room when one of my friends leaves to go downstairs and get ice. She came back and told us to pack our bags immediately because she had seen something scary. She wouldn't tell us what because she was so panicked and frantically packing her bags and urging us to do the same. Within the next few minutes, we heard a combination of what sounded like a baby crying,
oh jeez,
a man laughing, and a bell. The other two of us thought she was messing with us, but immediately realized that she was in serious disarray and followed her. She told us not to go anywhere near the elevator. And to this day, we have no idea where those noises were coming from. None of us had believed in paranormal activity leading up to that day. Separately, we have heard those three noises periodically since our stay, and we think that we took something back home with us,
What?
but managed to get out safely. Yes. And under this Reddit post, you can comment on the Reddit post.
Yeah.
One girl commented that her dad had stayed at the Cecil many, many years ago.
Right.
And has also heard the baby crying and the bell.
I don't know about the bell, but obviously the baby is like the throne baby.
Right, man, it's so creepy.
She's got the chills, man.
The other woman, I just took parts of her long story. She writes how when she stayed there, she had a man frantically banging on her door in the middle of the night, only to burst in, go into the bathroom. Yeah. He pulled her out, went into her room, closed the door, right? So she ran down to the hotel front desk to get security, right? Her and security go back up to the hotel room. She's thinking that maybe he would have locked the door or barricaded it. Well, no, they just open the door. Security opens the door and goes in. Her room is fine, but they go to the bathroom, and the man had actually slit his own wrists in her bathroom.
Was he dead?
No, he was alive, and when they went to try to help him, he swiped at her, actually cutting the girl, the guest. Yeah, it was insane.
What the fuck?
Yes. So they finally got him out. They moved her rooms,
Oh, I think I would just pack up and leave, to be honest with you.
Me too. I would not stay here. They refunded her whole money and gave her a free stay and
oh yeah, that's
stuff.
not good enough. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's why she decided to stay, because they refunded her money and gave her a free stay. The next morning, and from her new room, she decides that she is going to go downstairs and get breakfast, right? So she goes on the elevator. When the elevator is coming up to her, she hears it making a weird noise, right?
Oh, God.
Well, then instead of going down, the elevator goes up to the 6th floor. Yeah.
No.
She doesn't get out of the elevator and presses the lobby button again to go downstairs. Well, the elevator just stalls out right there.
Oh,
and
God.
sits there.
With the door open?
It doesn't say if the door was open. And then, well, I'm assuming that it probably was open until she hit the lobby button again, because you know how when you stop at a floor, the doors automatically open.
Yeah.
Well, then the elevator free falls for 3 floors.
What?
And stops on the 3rd floor.
Dude, that's my nightmare. That's literally
and the door's open, and she gets out.
Yes, and then I'm packing my bags and leaving.
Right. Well, she decides that she's going to get off this elevator, and she goes to the stairs, right? Well, when she goes into the stairwell, she literally runs into a mother and her small daughter, right? Well, the little girl looks up at her mother and says, "She's not real, like Eleanor."
Oh my God, I just got the chills.
And the mother tells her, "She is real. I can see her. Nobody can see Eleanor but you." Right? Nope. And the little girl says she can't be real because she has shadows following her, just like Eleanor.
Oh my gosh.
Needless to say, this was her first and last night at the Cecil Hotel. She got the fuck out of there.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
Dude. I just got the chills 4 times.
Right. There's actually a lot of stories, but to go through them all because some of them are very long.
Yeah.
But some of the main points are the hotel has been closed for years. It's been closed for 5 or 6 years now. I think it closed in 2015 or 16. because it was sold again, and now they're remodeling the entire. They're supposed to be remodeling the entire Cecil Hotel, and it's supposed to reopen at the end of this year. Actually,
Yeah. Good luck with that. I'm
right?
like,
That's what I'm saying.
the reality is you can make something look as nice as you want, but when you look down the street and see 10,000 homeless people, nobody's going to want to stay there.
Not only that, but this hotel now has a reputation. It is known as Hotel Death.
Oh, gosh.
Right. There have been reports of a ghost outside a 4-story window. I actually saw the picture.
Out of the window?
Floating outside
Shut
of the
up.
building. I have seen the picture. It is creepy as shit.
You'll have to email that to me so I can include
I will. Yes, remind me. A man who lives across the street actually has a vlog on YouTube. He and in some of the vlogs he does have videos. He has seen shadows in the windows. And remember, this hotel is closed down and they're not actively remodeling it. So, I don't know. So he'll see shadows in the windows when there's nobody there. Like, he can't see anybody going in or out of this.
Right.
He literally lives directly across from it. He sees the curtains move. Like, the blinds in the rooms every day will be at different angles. Like, it's weird.
Gosh. Like,
yeah, and he has video documents.
Like someone's like, I need a little more light. Oh, a little less. Oh, God.
At night, he could see just random lights come on.
Oh, no.
Sometimes when the lights come on, he can see the fans moving, where in an hour or two or the next day, they will be off, all of it. Random windows open and close. He has actually seen this, where all of the windows in one row will be one row down, not
like
one row
several
across.
floors.
Several floors. They will all be open, or all their doors will be open to the balconies or something. He has actually seen apparitions in these windows. He was one night, it was dark in his apartment, and he had gone to the window to do something, and he sees a man smoking a cigarette or a cigar in a window across the street, and he like automatically panics, right? Because it looks like the man is looking at him.
Oh, shit.
Well, it's dark in his apartment, so he's like, there's no way that this person could see me if there was a person there, right? So he runs to the other end of his apartment and looks out that window, and the man's face is facing toward him.
Oh,
like he could see him. Yeah. Other guests, while the Cecil was open, has seen and heard the bells, the baby crying, and the man laughing.
Who is the man laughing? What's with the bells?
I don't know.
What's happening?
Who the hell's Eleanor?
Oh my gosh. I can't.
That's what I want to know. But that is the end of my Cecil Hotel Cecil Hotel Death case. There's actually a lot of information about it. I think since the Elisa Lam murder / suicide / accidental drowning, there's been a lot of interest in the Hotel Cecil.
Yeah.
They actually made American Horror Story season 5, called The Hotel, is actually based off the Hotel Cecil.
I've never seen that show, but
I love that show.
Listen, some of those stories really freaked me the F out. And now I'm wondering... Well, no. I don't want to be forced to jump out of a window, so I don't think I will ever stay there, even if they reopen. But
I know. We'll see, in all the years that the Cecil has been open, they have always denied any kind of film crews coming in.
Why?
Always. And it is actively, like, discouraged that you film while you were staying at the Cecil. Now, since the new person has bought it, of course, they made the Netflix documentary, which parts of it were filmed at the Cecil,
Right.
and they allowed ghost hunters to go in.
Dude, I want to watch that Ghost
The
Hunters.
the ghost adventures, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that episode a lot. A lot.
I do too, but we've had our discussions about Ghost Hunters versus Ghost Adventures cruise.
Yes. Yes, we have.
But yeah, this place is definitely creepy. When I
Yes.
first heard of the Cecil, I can't remember. It was way before the documentary.
Oh yeah.
I actually think that it was around the time that season 5 of American Horror Story came out, because I watched Hotel, and and I had heard somewhere, I probably was online, and I had heard somewhere that it was based off the Hotel Cecil. So I started kind of looking into it, because I was interested. And this place is crazy.
Dude, it is nuts. And I think I've heard of it probably from, like, if I really thought hard, probably Elisa Lamb. Because it was a huge story. I'm like, a Canadian tourist is missing, because she was missing for days and days and days. Nobody knew where she was, what happened to her. She disappeared off the face of the earth, and here's this strange video of her acting really oddly. Like, I don't know, it's very weird.
It is very weird, and I don't like it. I don't like this place.
I don't like it either, actually.
Most places that I look into and we investigate and we talk about on our podcast, I want to go to.
Yes.
I
agree
do
with that.
not want to go here.
I really don't. I
really don't either.
And I mean, even if it were taken, because I have no desire to go to California, and I especially have no desire to go to one of the worst parts of Los Angeles.
Me neither.
If it were taken out of there, I still wouldn't want to go there.
Me neither. Like, if it was located in a different city, in a different place.
Yeah, exactly.
But it had the same things going on, I would not want to go there either. This place sounds like from the very beginning that it was extremely evil.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, is it like the land? Is it like, what's going on over here?
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird. It is This
weird.
place creeps me out like above any other place, I think.
It really creeps me out too. Like, I'm totally.
But it's not a good creepy. It's
no. This is like,
story.
I would be terrified for my life if I stayed here.
Right.
Like, literally.
Me too. I don't like it at all.
No.
And your microphone keeps freaking me out.
Can you see it?
Sometimes I can and sometimes I can't, but sometimes it looks like just a shadow over there in the corner.
Oh, because this is it right here. I'm touching it.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. I see exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a glimpse and it like goes away and a glimpse and goes away.
Yeah, I'm not going to use this background. Any background again. I don't like it. But
I actually do like it, except for you can see the space in my headphones where you can see my walls.
So I like it. I would like, look, you can't even see like my whole headphone right here. And then the microphone. Like, it's just the lighting has to be perfect. Your lighting is pretty good, so it's not as much of an issue. But once the sun really started getting obscured over here, it got a lot worse. Where it's like, the whole side of this, like, it's very hard. Anyway.
Right.
Anywho, if you would stay at the Cecil, you should let us know in our emails.
Or
the comments. Let us know. Comment on this video. Email us. Tell us your spooky story, and we'll probably tell it on our next episode, our next case.
Yeah. Yes.
Because nobody's emailed us.
I know.
You bastardos. Just kidding.
Do it. Let us know. We always want to know about first-hand accounts. We want to know about first-hand experiences in the paranormal field. We do not do true crime. Just another update.
Newsflash. We're not a true crime podcast.
Yes, so we will not look into this case that everybody's asking us about.
No, right.
Because we do not do true crime.
I think maybe people get confused because sometimes our cases have overlapping of true crime and the paranormal. So we obviously
That's
are
true.
focusing on the paranormal, and we think that the cases of true crime have somehow could be attributed to paranormal, or have some where they're playing together and making it even creepier and weirder. So that's
Right.
why we would talk about true crime.
And I think that's why people, because I did the Jameson family.
Yes.
But the whole premise of the Jameson family was that at one point in time, their house was believed to be haunted, and that some of the spirits actually drove them to do what they did to begin with.
Right. Right. Because,
So,
right. That video is creepy too. You should watch that video, by the way.
yes.
I mean, watch that case, and then we recommend the video also in that case of them, like, loading their car, which is very creepy.
It is creepy. It's weird.
It is weird. So, yes, no true crime unless it has something to do with the paranormal. Like, in this episode, or in this case, you're going to hear some true crime stuff. But
Right.
it's because the hotel is obviously creepy AF. That's why.
Yes. And evil and haunted, and Richard Ramirez was doing shit he shouldn't be doing there. And I think that actually attributes for quite a bit of it. Well, I mean, I think it was evil before, but that didn't help any matters, you know?
And then I have to wonder, what if the hotel made him evil?
No, because he was already committing crimes. He just happened to stay here during his crime spree.
But are we now going to say that he never stayed there before?
No, not to say that he didn't, but I have, besides the documentary, I have actually read into Richard Ramirez, and he was a follower of the Church of Satan for a very long time before he even started committing crimes.
I mean, listen, I'm not a hater. You do what you do just because I believe in Christ. Your soul's your business, but I think it's really stupid to worship the devil, and I don't think it's ever going to lead you to a good place, honestly.
I agree. But
Honestly.
like Becca said, you do you.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, your soul is your business.
Right. It is. It's between you and the maker.
That's right. And just FYI, your maker is not the devil. So consider that.
Yep, we were here a long time before he became the devil. So.
Anywho, I think we'll wrap this up. And of course, if you guys like what we're doing, you have to like us, you have to share us, you have to subscribe, and make sure you turn on notifications. And, you know, you can subscribe to our podcast also. Wherever you listen to your podcast, if you subscribe, I think it helps with, like, the analytics. It helps put us nearer to the top when people search for things like paranormal. And so, obviously, we want more people to listen. So...
Right, because while we don't actually go anywhere and investigate stuff, we do enjoy talking about paranormal, and we do put a lot of research and a lot of time into each case subject that we do.
Yes.
We like to get the background of the properties. We like to get events that have happened there, and this case took me a week.
It is time consuming. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the research, a lot of the technical stuff is time consuming also. It's a very time consuming process. So we need you people to be watching and liking and sharing with everybody else.
Yes.
So, yes, go and do that. And I don't know what else to say at this point.
So we'll just end it.
I guess we'll just say goodbye. Alright then, so I guess we'll catch you all on the flip side.
Yes, and you guys stay creepy.
Peace.